Hi everyone and welcome back to Nicko's Kitchen, and like I said on Monday, I've got a special guest with me all this week, and it is one of my cooking mentors, my Nan. How are you, Nan?
I'm fine, thanks, Rob.
What are we making today?
Pumpkin scones.
Pumpkin scones. Now these pumpkin scones, they used to line up for, I remember. Everyone used to beg you for them, and I used to, and we used to make them a lot in winter. But it's summer here at the moment, but we're going to make them anyway. But I think pumpkin scones is probably one of the most famous things that you have cooked.
No, well known was I? Oh.
Well, I don't know about that, but about the pumpkin scones it was, yeah.
Didn't run around with bad men, just doing pumpkin scones.
All right, so they're really easy to make, and I've changed one or two things with them.
Okay, that's good.
I know you shouldn't interfere with the classic, but I'm sure you'll like them anyway.
I'm sure
but they're based
I
on
will.
yours. So just into a bowl, okay, I've got some self-raising flour. Do you want to grab that for me? And we'll pop the self-raising flour straight into a bowl. Now, if you don't have self-raising flour, you could just use normal flour with about a teaspoon of baking powder added. You've heard me say that 1,000 times. So I'll just put that over here. And we're going to be putting in, we've got a little bit of sugar, so we'll put that in there as well. And next up, I'm going to be putting in, and I remember this about yours, 3 things: nutmeg, salt and pepper. Especially the pepper. So I'm going to put in some nutmeg. Do you remember you always used to say to me, put a lot more pepper in. Always put more pepper in. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Always. All right, so we've got a lot of pepper.
That's good, you see, you listened to me.
Well, I had to, otherwise you'd beat me with the spoon.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
All right, so we've got a lot of pepper in there and a little bit of salt. Beautiful. Now, we're going to put our butter in. Now, the butter's got to be really, really cold and from the fridge, and we've just cut it up into little chunks. So we're going to pop that in there. And now what are we going to do?
Going to mix it up.
We're going to mix it up. But what, now you could do this in a food processor and it would take all of like 10 seconds. But we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. Make sure your hands are clean, and we're going to get in there and we're going to pinch the flour, and yes, your hands are clean, and we're going to pinch the flour and the butter until they become like breadcrumbs, if you like. So we've done our butter and the flour until it's resembled breadcrumbs, and now we're going to be adding in the most important ingredient, and that's the pumpkin.
Yes.
Now the pumpkin, did you know you can buy canned pumpkin now?
No.
Would you ever buy a pumpkin in a can?
Probably not,
No,
because
I didn't
I'm
think so.
old-fashioned.
But what we did do is, this is so easy, we've just cooked down some pumpkin. You can use normal pumpkin. I've used a butternut pumpkin or a butternut squash, and just cooked it in some boiling water, blitzed it up, and this is what we're left with, is is almost like a puree or a pumpkin mash. But you could use some canned pumpkin if you wanted to. Not that you would. You're about to faint. I can just see it here. Okay, so we're gonna add this canned. We'll just make a well in the centre first of all, and we're going to add in the pumpkin, and now we're going to be putting in some buttermilk. Okay, this is something that you never put in your scones, but I'm going to add some in. You use milk. I use the buttermilk. I prefer the flavour. Now we're going to mix this around until it becomes like a wet, sort of sticky
mess.
Dough. A mess. Okay, I'll say dough. You say mess. So once we've got it looking like that now, I'm going to put it out on the board just here, and we'll flour it in a second. So I'm just going to knead it like this, just to mix it around. It's going to get a little bit sticky like it is now. Once it gets to that stage, I'm going to put some flour down, and we'll keep going so it doesn't stick. So what we'll do is we'll cut this dough in half. So we've just got a rolling pin. Just going to put some flour on it. And we're going to, would you like to roll it? I seem to be doing everything. Do you want to roll it out for me?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Go on, like old time's sake. There you go. So you still got it. So we want it about sort of that thick. Okay, we don't want it sort of, because they will puff up and rise. Yeah, you could use a scone cutter.
Yes.
Or a cookie cutter for this.
Yes.
But how did we used to do it? Just with a mug.
Just with the cup.
Nothing special, nothing fancy, just with a mug. So we're just going to pop it in there, press down, okay, and we've got a tray here with some baking paper just here, and we're just going to pop them down and just keep repeating that process and just pop them in there, and then we can get them in the oven. So just before we pop them in the oven, I've got them all here on the baking tray, and I've got some buttermilk here, and I've got a pastry brush, and I'm just going to brush the top of them with some buttermilk, and this will give them that really nice glossy look. You used to do this with egg wash, but
the other stuff wasn't around in my old day.
but I'm going to do it with buttermilk, and it just gives it a really nice, like I said, glossy. Gives it a nice little crust on the top as well. And now we're going to pop these into a preheated oven at 180 degrees C or 350 Fahrenheit, and we're going to pop them in there for about 20 to 25 minutes, just until they puff up, rise, golden brown on the top, and then we can get stuck into them nice and hot with some fresh butter. Yeah. What do you reckon?
Oh, pretty jolly
You're there?
good.
Okay, let's go. So guys, we've just pulled out our pumpkin scones out of the oven, and we do what we always do. We lavish them with lots of butter. And there's one more thing we're going to do.
What's that? Taste them.
A little bit of pepper.
Pepper?
It was more pepper. So do you want to put a little bit of pepper on them?
I'm a bit heavy-handed with pepper.
That's okay. I know you're heavy-handed with the pepper. They look amazing, don't they? They smell just wonderful. This is very similar to what an American...
Peppered?
Sorry?
How many do you want me to pepper?
Oh, you can pepper all of them. These are very similar to what an American would call a buttermilk biscuit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but we call them scones, or scones. Some people call them scones. Okay. Yeah, you weren't joking with the heavy-handedness of the pepper.
Yeah, just a bit.
All right. You pick your poison, I'll pick mine. And we'll taste them. How about that?
You're having a top?
I'm having a top.
I'll have a top too.
You have a top as well.
And then
All
I'll
right.
sort it out that
Okay,
way.
here we go.
Look at a hungry one over here. Cheers.
They're as good as I remember. A little bit sweet, but with the pepper, the pumpkin. Are they any good?
Beautiful, but I don't recall making these like these. Are so good.
You don't remember making them so good?
No.
Well, here we go again. I don't remember making these as good as yours. But anyway.
Good.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you on Friday, where you will join me one more time, and we're going to make something really, really sweet and nice. Ooh. We won't tell them what yet.
Oh, okay.
But thank you again for making these scones with me.
You're welcome.
And
You've taught me a few things.
I've taught you a few things. Oh, well, you've taught me plenty of things over the time, so we're even. Hopefully not. I haven't corrupted your recipe, hopefully. But all the recipe ingredients for this one are below, so check it out. And I'm sure you'll love Nan's pumpkin scones. So until we see them on Friday, take care and we'll see you then.
Bye-bye.